Episode 187, Energy Work with Maren Rasmussen.
Welcome to Latter-day Life Coaches, the podcast where each episode is a conversation between me, Heather Rackham, and one of my amazing coach colleagues. Each coach here is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and a highly trained, experienced life coach making a great impact in the lives of their clients. And together, we have one main goal, helping you live your best life no matter what. You ready for this conversation with a coach? Here we go.
Today on the podcast is a type of coach we have never had before, but who brings her gift of energy work to the coaching world. Coach Maren Rasmussen is a coach who uses her gift of seeing the energy that people have around them to help bring awareness and healing to their lives. Many can be leery of energy work, but we know that after listening to Maren, you will see how she uses this gift from her heavenly parents to help bring those she works with better alignment with the light within themselves and the light that they can tap into from heaven. Maren does a great job explaining what energy work exactly is and then does an energy session with Heather to give you, the listener, a better understanding of how this tool can help you in your progression. If energy work is a tool you would like to implement in your life, please reach out to Maren and let her tap into your energy. Enjoy this episode.
Welcome back to our podcast, everybody. We are so happy to have you join us for another insightful episode. And this one is going to be pretty different than anything that we have done before. And I always love new. And I'm actually really excited for this one because I get to be a little bit of I get to experience a little bit of this coaching myself today. So it'll be interesting for all of us. But before we get started, I want you to meet the amazing Maren Rasmussen. Hey, Maren, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited
Good.
to be here today.
I am so excited to have you. Okay, so I want you to introduce yourself and then we'll just jump right in so we have all
Awesome.
sorts of time.
Yeah, I'm Maren Rasmussen. As she said, I'm from St. George, Utah, and I've lived up in northern Utah for like the last 20 years. So more than I ever lived in St. George. I served a mission to Nauvoo, Illinois, and Boise, Idaho years ago. I
Do you
have
know that's where I live? I'm in Boise.
You are?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, just outside of Boise. That's
oh,
fun.
that's awesome. Yeah, I served in Twin Falls and I can't Nampa, a few other places just around.
Yeah.
I was at Boise State for a little bit, so that was
Okay.
awesome. But
Oh, cool. Okay, sorry for the
yeah,
interruption,
no, I
but
love it. I have two bonus kids that are 17 and 20, and then I have two kids of my own that are 1 and 2 years old. So they keep me busy.
you have
And
like both ends of the
yeah,
spectrum.
yeah.
That's so fun though.
Yeah, it's been really fun. It's definitely kept us young and tired, but
Yes.
super fun. I recently left my longtime corporate job just a few weeks ago and hoping to focus more on my kids and then my coaching business. So I'm excited about that. And I love being inside and outside. I kind of like a mix of both. I love hiking and yoga, rock climbing. My husband's a big rock climber, so we like to do that together. And then I just really love connecting with people and talking deeply about things. So I think that's what really pushed me into coaching, is just being able to like connect with others and talk about concepts and our brains. So I love it all. But that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
Oh, well, I think I'm the same way as far as like conversations. Like I want to have the deep, meaningful conversations. And I say this so many times, but my family is so glad that I get to have these conversations with coaches because it relieves them of having to have those conversations.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. We have our
So,
own little group where we can all
yeah,
connect with each other, right?
I know it's so great. Well, okay, Maren, this is, like I said, we haven't done anything like this before. We haven't met with a coach that has quite the niche that you have. So we're going to I'll just kind of introduce that and I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
And then Maren is going to kind of do a little bit of this coaching with me. And I'm excited, like I said, for you guys to be able to be part of that. So we have never had an energy coach on the podcast. And that's what Maren is. So Maren, can you explain for the listeners what an energy coach is and
Yeah.
how it works?
Yeah. So just a little background to help understand how I got into this a little bit. Years ago, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease and also suffered with depression and anxiety. So I was on medicine a lot, trying to get off of it and do some more natural things because it wasn't helping me as much as I wanted. And as a lot of people know, when you kind of hit the limit of physical issues and like no one can help you, you're willing to do new things, different things, weird things. And that led me to something called NAET, which is an allergy elimination technique, but she also did energy work with that. And so that's what kind of led me into learning more about energy work, understanding it, and over the last 15 years, learning that I have a gift to see energy. So I usually tell people, I'm like, it's like I speak Japanese and I can interpret Japanese for you because maybe you don't understand Japanese right now, but it's something you could also learn. And I just have a gift to see energy and understand it. Really, it's just everything's energetic. Energy is not created or destroyed. It just is, and it can be moved. And so the goal is to bring awareness to what I'm energetically seeing in your system, and then help bring awareness to limiting beliefs, shifts that need to happen. Maybe you have like physical issues that are showing up, and about 50% of the time, we're humans, so we're going to have physical issues, but I would say about 50% or more of the time, a lot of it's energetically related or emotionally related. And so being able to kind of look into that and see, okay, what's coming up here? I'm seeing this situation that may have caused this physical issue, and we just need to bring awareness to it. And then coaching is essential. Energy work's not just this miraculous healing thing. It's really just the way that I do it is to be able to see what's going on, bring awareness to it, and then the client's job is to go home and do thought work or mindset work around the limiting beliefs that may be causing energy to keep getting stuck. So really, it's just our body's just telling us kind of like, hey, there's something going on here. We need to look more into this. And energy work is one of the many tools. I think there's so many tools out there that we can use. And energy coaching, I really feel like resonates with certain people and can really bring a lot of hope, a lot of movement, really help them change their beliefs and shift things. So my goal always is just when I'm looking at someone energetically, my goal is to help remove darkness and really just align them with light, because they are light, and it's just kind of uncovering that light so that they can connect more with God. It's awesome. It's so fun, and I love it.
It's so fascinating. And I got to witness, we did a call with some of the coaches a couple weeks ago, and Maren did this energy coaching with a handful of the coaches there. And I just got to witness it over and over. And I just was like in awe when we got done. So anyway, I think it's so interesting, but I love the word awareness. Awareness is a huge just part of coaching in general, but the awareness that you bring is something that we typically can't get to. And so this is like a whole different level of awareness, and it's a different source to tap into.
Yes, totally. One thing that I thought about as we were thinking about this podcast and LDS audience, for years, I wrestled with God about this gift that I had. And for a while, I was like, am I making this up? But over time, I just really embraced it. And I'm like, okay, I have a gift to see energy. Like, how cool is this that I can like tap into an individual, and it's like I get to see the pureness of an individual. Like, there's no judgment there. It's more of like I get to see their full light. And then it's like all these experiences over time have caused darkness to come in, or blocks, or, I see things symbolically. So it's just so interesting and awesome to be able to see that pureness. And then what, like you said, bring awareness to it. And yeah, I've really struggled and battled with this of, is this okay to do? Is it not? And I've created very strict rules for myself. I'm very active in the church, and I feel like I'm really aligned with the principles of the gospel. And this has just really helped open up more to that. Like, holy cow, it's just strengthened my testimony as I've been able to work on people and see the light and see that connection to God. Anyway, it's just been a great gift and an exciting thing. And what I was going to say is I just think often about like other professions, and like even President Nelson, how he's talked about he's a gift with his hands when he's doing surgery, and being able to use the spirit and being able to like know how to work on someone. And I'm just like, wow, this is my gift. I get to see energy and help someone just bring a little more awareness to what I'm seeing. I always tell them, if it doesn't resonate with you, throw it out the window, because we just need to focus on the things that are really connecting with you now. And then let's work on those thoughts and beliefs to help you get more aligned with the light, with God, with who you are, with other people, all of it. It's been so interesting and fun to uncover it as I've worked on this gift.
Yeah, I bet. So you mentioned, you did talk a little bit about the gospel. And so how would you say, and maybe you kind of hit on this, but how would you say this energy work links with the doctrines and the principles of the gospel?
Yeah, like the simplicity of things as I worked on people, light. I think when I do like when I work on you at the end of this podcast, it will make more sense to people
Yeah.
as they're listening. But just really being able to see like how forgiveness works in someone's system, how there's justice and mercy, generational energy. So we believe that we live after this life, and I firmly believe that as well. And I feel like I can connect with the ancestors just show up. Like whenever I'm working on someone, without fail, like that's not my purpose. My purpose is not to connect with people that have passed on, but we're just so interlinked as family. Like it is very true. I can see the links that come in, and I'm able to help, we're able to help them as we work on you. And it's just amazing to watch how interconnected it is, and really it has helped my testimony grow in the gospel as I've worked on people.
I love that. And I love thinking about, I don't know, I feel a strong connection to my ancestors, even, to the ones that I haven't met, but especially to the ones that I have met. And so it always seems tender to know that we have that connection in some way.
Yes.
So taking the doctrine of repentance, and you kind of did talk, you said repentance, but previously, can you give us an example of how specifically energy work helps someone in the repentance process?
Yes. Years ago, President Nelson gave a talk on repentance, and he used the word change quite often throughout that. And repentance really is like changing the view of ourselves, our view of God, our view of the world, and really becoming more aligned with God's views and being connected to Him in that way. And it's so awesome to watch as we kind of clear away false beliefs that are popping up in someone's system. And when I say clear, it's just we're bringing awareness to it, almost like we're saying, okay, we see you, and it's okay to let go of that. Like we don't need to have that belief anymore. It's not useful anymore, and we can replace that with something that's true and light.
I just really quick, when you were working with the coaches a couple weeks ago, you did say, we're just going to clear that. Like you would say, and I actually wrote that in my notes. What does she mean when she says we're just going to clear that?
Yeah, so exactly. Yep. It's just bringing awareness to it. And it's almost like I see like a cloud of energy, or like a mist in your system. And we're like, okay, we see you. We see that you're telling us that God is something you should fear. And we're saying, we don't need to hold on to that anymore. We're just going to let you go. We're going to move you, clear you up, and then help bring in more light of like, God is love. God is someone that you can connect with. God is safe. Like all of these beliefs that can help you align more with truth and light. With forgiveness, when I see someone, oftentimes I'll see them like holding on to like a baton or like a pole or a rod, and their hand is like gripping so tightly to it. And as soon as we talk about forgiveness in the session and like kind of let that energy flow through them, it's like their hands release. And their hands are still there, kind of close to the rod, but it lets go of the rod. And that way they can kind of step back and look at it a little more clearly. Sometimes that just helps it release and clear out of their system by letting go of it. Other times, once again, you might need to do more thought work around that belief of I can't let this go. But at least we've like released that tight grasp, so there's more room for them to process the emotions, process the beliefs that are there, and really let that flow through them. So it's really, yeah, it's just my goal really is to help them see themselves more in light with God, in line with God, and the light that's within themselves.
Mhm. So how do you think that works then? You help us to align with God. What does that look like? How do you think that it does help us work to connect us with him?
So I really think just once again, bringing awareness to those beliefs that are there. If you imagine like a light, a pole, like a pole through your whole system or your whole body, and it's just light. And that light at the top of your head also like helps you connect to God, or like represents your ability and beliefs and connecting to God. And so when I can look at your system and be like, okay, I go through the chakras just as a way to kind of organize the energy, but your crown chakra, or your head, is where I see your connection to God. I see your beliefs about God. Um, and from there we can really open up, okay, I can tell there's maybe some generational beliefs coming in about God that we need to clear up here. I can tell that we need to open up that light and really align with him, because it's all light. And I think a lot of my basis comes from my beliefs in the gospel of Jesus Christ, right? And as I've like worked on someone and what I'm seeing, and that aligns with all of that, that we are light, we're children of God, we're interconnected with each other. There's a purpose of why we're here on this earth. All of those things really help to open up that crown chakra, that light, and just brighten it up so that we're more like aware of our own light and being able to share that with other people. So I hope that answer your question.
Yeah, it does.
I,
And then you also said generational trauma. I heard you say generational trauma, which, how does generational trauma and beliefs get passed down from generation to generation? And how does energy work help with that?
yeah, so I always explain to people, like, just like our looks get passed down to us, we also have beliefs passed down to us. And I always give the example of like money is evil. That is one that I feel like especially a lot of Christians hold on to. I think it's really being broken up now in this day and age, and learning how money can be used as a tool. It's not, money isn't evil. Money is just a piece of paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being able to see how our beliefs about that shape what money becomes to us. But a lot of times people will have a really stubborn energy. And if I'm working on something and I'm trying to offer the energy new beliefs, because I'm basically coaching the person's energy, and I can feel if they're believing it or if they're like shutting off to it. It's almost like a push against me a little bit. And if it keeps pushing, I'm like, okay, maybe there's something generationally going on here, because at that point, I can see the person is almost carrying a belief for somebody else. Almost like great, great, great grandma years ago. Maybe one thing that's come up is someone that may have been starving or not had enough food. So slowly through the years, they passed on, like, you can't throw away food. Food is scarce. It's ungrateful to eat all of your food on your plate. All of those things that get passed on slowly throughout the years. And now you're holding this little ball of energy of like, don't throw away the food, or the food is scarce. It's ungrateful to not eat it all. And someone that might be trying to lose weight or let extra weight go is having a hard time with that, and feels really like, I've tried everything. I can't do anything else. I don't know what else to do. A lot of times it's the generational. And so if we can just, I see it like, if I see like a little ball of gray or dark energy with you, as soon as we give it back or bring awareness to it, kind of send it back to great, great, great grandma. As soon as it gets back to her, it turns to light. It's almost like she needed all of her issues and beliefs to heal herself. And we need to let go of other people's and not carry them for them. Now, that doesn't mean the next person's they're going to go home and like all of a sudden lose all this weight, but it really does help open up more room for you to work on your own stuff now. Like, what beliefs have you now created that are your own that you can work on, rather than working on yours and your ancestors?
Mm-hmm.
And I see this also with gifts. Like, there's generational gifts that are passed down to us through our family lines. And that's one of the funnest parts. I love seeing the light in other people. I love seeing, I always say light, because it's just, everything is light. The gifts, the talents, the characteristics that people have that are connected to God, that are from God, really show up, and we can help enhance that. Like, I don't ever say like, oh, we need to bring that in. I'm just like, we're just going to enhance that, kind of bring more awareness to it. Like, you have this generational gift from your mom's side. And we want to help you utilize that gift instead of pushing it away. So that's a little bit of it, but I love the generational aspect, because all the ancestors that come forward, it's like they're just cheering us on. They want to help us so much, and they also need our help. And as we change and grow, and not just through energy work, through coaching, through therapy, through taking care of ourselves, through connecting with God and reading the scriptures, all those things also help them. It really helps the generational energy that's flowing through all of us.
So interesting. Okay, so I get to be the lucky recipient of you doing some energy work today. But before we start that, I want to know what you would say to people who are listening that might kind of be like, ooh, this seems strange, or this seems like maybe something, I don't know, just feels uncomfortable, or maybe could be going against what they believe in some way. Do you want to address that just a little bit?
Totally. Yeah, there's actually a statement in the church handbook about energy healing. And this has come up several times past 5 or 10 years. I can't remember when they wrote it, but I have studied this so much and really looked into it. So I'll talk about that, and then I have another comment also. But it talks about energy healing is someone that promises miracles, healing, and uses supernatural powers in exchange for money. And I've like looked at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I doing something wrong? Is this okay? Is it not? Like, really battled. And the more I looked at the definition, the more I'm like, I don't promise miracles or healing. I don't use supernatural powers. The only thing that's the same in here is the word energy, and I charge money for my coaching. And so that's one aspect that I think some people have just looked at that and then they just kind of throw it out the window, like, oh, it has the word energy, I'm not even going to look at it. So just being aware of how things are defined and what it actually means, or who you're working with. So that's my next point, is no matter what it is, whether it's energy work, whether it's coaching, therapy, like, I would always tell people to pray about it, trust your intuition, see the methods and the way that they talk about the work that they do. There's some energy work that I don't resonate with, and I stay far away from. And the same with other things that I don't feel like it's right for me. And so I totally respect that, for anyone that feels like, ugh. But I also feel like it's okay too to like, okay, what are they saying they teach about this? What is their definition of what they do? And being able to understand more in that aspect. So hopefully that answers some questions.
Yeah.
I know energy work can be such a weird thing too. And like I said, I have seen some things that I don't feel like are aligned with God, specific to energy work, and specific types of energy work that I don't resonate with, or I kind of stay far away from. And so that's why I have very strict rules for myself. And my husband and I talk often about where I'm at and making sure that I'm aligned. I always feel like if God told me stop, I would stop, like, but I've just felt I feel so much confidence in moving forward with it. And it's a gift God's given me, and it's okay to go use it and help those that it resonates with. Like, I always tell people, I'm like, energy work, I feel like can help anybody, but it's not for everybody. Just like coaching or other things. Like, I think coaching can really help everyone, but sometimes people might need a different way of getting that same information rather than through a coach or a therapist or someone that does energy work or energy coaching. Anyway,
Yeah.
so, and if anyone has any questions, they're welcome to reach out to me, and I'm happy to discuss those with them.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And, you know, anything in the world is, we have those same options, right? To be aligned with God or not to be aligned with
Yes.
God. And we have to really learn to trust our intuition, to trust our own souls, to believe that we can receive, that we have personal authority for what works for us. And I really do feel like that is President Nelson is really pushing us to learn how to access that personal authority.
Yes, I
And
love that.
anyway,
True. Love it.
okay. Well, I'm
Okay.
gonna just turn it over
Turn it
to
over
you.
to me. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I did this with your assistant, and is there something specific that and you've seen me do this, but is there anything specific and that I can focus on for you, relationship or business or health issues?
Yeah.
And there doesn't have to be. I can also just look in to see what's coming up the most.
Yeah. I don't think that I can give you anything specific.
Okay.
I mean, there just isn't really anything that I'm like, I don't know, stressed over,
Perfect.
worried
Okay,
about.
let's do
So,
it. Awesome.
okay.
Then I always say I'm gonna tap into your energy, but really that's like, I always ask for permission. People are like, do you walk around and just see people's energy? I'm like, no. I always ask for permission, and it takes a lot of effort for me to tap into someone and
Mhm.
energy to do that. And so now that I have your permission, I'm gonna kind of look at your energy and see what we can do. I'm gonna look at your energy specific to your business and specific to gifts and talents that maybe you're hiding or not opening up to. So the first thing that I'm feeling is your mom's energy. So let's look over there and see what's coming up. I see you around the age 4 is what I'm hearing. So there's something at age 4, and I'm hearing your mom say, don't bury your gifts and talents. So this seems like something we learn often, I think, in the church and in our lives, that we're supposed to like really help our gifts and talents come out. But then I see your mom handing you a box, and in it, it says like gifts and talents. So this feels like more than anything like, don't bury your gifts and talents. Here they are. These are the ones that you have. So it feels like she kind of helped you see them, but then you blocked yourself from other gifts and talents that you have that you're supposed to discover. So first and foremost, we're going to enhance the energy of really allowing your gifts and talents to come out. And then let's see what we need to do here. I'm going to clear a belief that my mom and dad, my mom specifically, tells me what my gifts and talents are. And then let's shift to being open more to you discovering your gifts and talents. So I'm going to shift that energy into what if I'm the one that is able to and the best at connecting with and discovering and finding those talents and gifts that are within me. When your connection, obviously, as your crown chakra is open, which it feels really open still. So a good job keeping your crown chakra open, and like, especially in this area specifically. So I'm going to let that light flow through. It's pushing me to your stomach. So I'm going to see what we need to do there to help kind of help you connect more with, I just keep hearing gifts and talents. Let me see if there's anything else with those words specifically. Okay, another part of this is your energy almost feels like you need to be surprised by it. Like, oh, I didn't know I had that gift and talent, and now here it is. But I'm seeing there's some things that you just naturally do, that you're really good at, that you love, that you're connected to, that your desires, like I really believe our desires, God plants within us to help us create this beautiful life and know what our gifts and talents are. So a part of this is that you are already really good at a lot of things and you're kind of not owning that. So I'm going to bring out the energy more of becoming more aware of characteristics, skills, things that you've developed, gifts and talents that you've developed so that you can connect more with those. And then I see you pushing them only towards church. So a part of your energy thinks, oh, these, like, my gifts and talents are just meant to help people at church. Not all the time. This is just sometimes. It's enough that it's pushing you away from using it always. So I'm just going to expand that. Yes, we want to bless the lives of others at church. It's also for yourself. And then it's also for connecting with other people through work, through with your family, strangers, all of that. So we're really just going to expand this, that these gifts and talents are for all aspects of my life. Good. That looks way better. That shifted really easily. Let me see if there's anything else. Now there are some gifts and talents that seem more hidden or like surprising, like ones that you aren't aware of yet. So let me see how we can shift the energy there to become more aware of them. I see a key that your dad is holding, and he wants you to go unlock, looks like a little like treasure chest. So let's bring you in and help you open or unlock the treasure chest. Let's see what else we need to do. This is generational energy because I'm seeing a bunch of your ancestors kind of pop up over your left shoulder and all from your dad's side. And this wooden box or chest, and you have the key, you open it and there's nothing inside. So you look at your dad and you're like, almost like I was expecting this big thing and there's nothing in here. Let's see if we just need to give this back to him. This feels like an energy of someone else has to give me the key and then I can open the box. But I'm hearing the key lives within you. Your key for your box is with you. It's not with someone else. So we'll clear all that generational energy. This is pushing through some of your kids as well. So clear that. And then I'm just going to shift your energy once again to be open. It's really pushing me to your stomach again, that like the key is in there. And the words that are coming up are like your gut instincts or intuition, which I think is really related to connecting with God and the Holy Ghost, in knowing and trusting that that key is already within you. And it's almost like there's not even a box and there's not really a key. It's just knowing that the direction and the gifts and talents that are there within you and ready to come out live within you. They don't come from outside sources. So I'm really going to open up your stomach to that. Your energy is like, yeah, this all makes sense, but it's almost like you want more details. So I'm just going to look at your whole system and see what areas of your body are kind of shouting at me in this. So your throat is one. You definitely have a gift in your throat to speak and connect with other people. I definitely am seeing like an ability to be straightforward in a kind way or bold in a kind way. Like the two come together really beautifully. So I'm going to enhance that in your throat. Okay, now money's coming up. This feels, how do I say this? I'm seeing money that is directly correlated with some of the talents that you have. And almost like for you to be able to allow those out more, you need to charge money. I don't like saying it that way because it sounds really like, what? I need to go charge money so I have talent, like almost like I'm paying for my talents. No, it's not in that way. It's just for you to move through discomfort, the discomfort of charging for something that you're willing to provide value, you're willing to offer to people that then they can accept and they want to pay for. That discomfort and that journey to get there and be in that place is really going to help you excel. It's like it like pulls out all of these other parts of you and the gifts and talents. I've said those words a lot, to be able to see them more easily and to be able to use them. Your energy is understanding this. Even as I'm saying it, I'm like slightly confused, but I can totally see energetically how being willing to charge, like a lot of people have a hard time charging money for stuff. They think they just need to give it away. And, there can be an aspect of you need to work on some money beliefs. And there's a little bit here with that, associated with that. But more so, it's the journey that you'll take and the mindset shifts you'll have as you learn to not give money the power. Like, money doesn't have power here. It's just something we use to exchange for value. And someone might say, oh, I really want to pay for that. And that's how they'll find you. Like, a lot of times when I go buy something, I might look for the cheapest thing if it's a certain type of product I don't really care about. But if it's something that I really care about and need, or a coach, oftentimes I'm drawn more to people that charge more money, because I'm like, they understand their value and I need that value right now. And so it's that exchange. So beautiful. Your energy is really connecting with this. Once again, you'll be able to, as you kind of do some thought work and mindset work on this, I can just see you expanding and really developing those talents that are there. And it's funny that a lot of them, they're living in your stomach. So I just really want to let those out more. In the stomach, I often see the inner child. And so there might be something associated with your inner child that's, just wanting to show like, hey, maybe stuff that you loved to do as a kid or you really desired, or the goals that you had. And maybe at that time just felt like, oh, mom told me that these are my gifts and talents. It's like, oh, now I can look at all of this stuff and I can decide what my gifts and talents are. I can really connect with those and let them all out. So I'm really going to enhance like the 4-year-old energy in you and just help you connect with her more. And this is weird for some people, but some people can like connect more with themselves if they imagine like talking to your 4-year-old. Hey, what do you need to tell me? What do you like? Like trying to connect with that part of you that has some really good intuition, even at age 4, which I have a 2-year-old that is very intuitive and has a lot of wisdom that I would have never imagined a 2-year-old would have. So giving that 4-year-old time to speak. Let me see if there's anything else. There is still a little bit more with money I want to look at real quick. It's on your left shoulder and you're brushing it away. It just seems like an annoyance. Like, stop being here. Almost like a fly that you're like flying away or brushing away. I think it's time to look at this more. And if you have inclinations or ideas about how to create money or charge for things, which we've talked about in other conversations, I think being willing to really look at that instead of just brushing it away so quickly. Like it's time to really look at those things and then decide on purpose. And then when the brushing comes, instead of being annoyed with it, just be like, oh, I already decided I'm not doing this and I am doing that. It's just taking up energetic space, and it's just distracting it more than anything. It's like a fly. Like, you can be present and have a conversation with someone, but when there's a fly buzzing around you, you're not fully present because you're trying to get rid of the fly. Good. That looks way better. Okay. The last thing, I'm just going to really open your crown chakra. There is a slight fear, which I can relate to with the gift that I have and charging money and all of that. Like, am I aligned with God? So I'm just going to open that up more so that you can really connect with him and trust yourself. Like, the more we know in thought work, mindset work, that the more we believe I am aligned with God and he will speak to me the way I understand and I can speak to him, the more we will really connect with that and do actions and things that will align ourselves in that way. So I'm really going to open you up to that, and it looks beautiful. So I'm going to fill you with a lot of light. And then did you have anything else or any questions or anything else you wanted me to look into?
I could have you look at a gazillion things, but for the sake of time, for the podcast today, we can call that good. I'm so fascinated because so many of the things that you have touched on are things that even I was out on a hike this morning and things that I pondered, like a little bit of that question of, am I aligning with God here? Or is this just me that am I relying too much on myself versus God? And the whole talent things, I have amazing parents
Yeah.
and they have blessed me with confidence and taught me so many things about myself. And it's interesting to imagine that, and maybe they didn't see all the things either. Like maybe there's more. So I don't know. I'm really appreciative to this because it's
Yeah.
really opening my eyes and my heart to a lot of things. So thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good session. And I can tell, like energetically, I can usually tell with like parents how healthy or unhealthy they might have been. And your mom's energy feels very good, like very loving. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very blessed. So
Yeah.
Maren, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for people to hear this and watch this and be open-minded, I guess, because I think it is one of those things that we can be like, oh, this is just a little different
Yeah,
than I'm used to.
totally.
And I don't know. The more people that I've talked to that have actually worked with you, they are like, this is amazing. She's amazing. And
Thanks.
anyway,
Yeah, it really has been awesome and so fun. And yeah, I just feel like this is another tool, just like coaching, just like therapy, like it's another way to just become more aware
yeah,
of yourself. And really it's my goal is to like help the individual just have so much more trust in themselves and God and
yeah.
like connecting with God in that way because it's within us. Everything like it's all within us. God gave it to us and we just have to be open to that. So
Love it. Thank you so much, Maren. Okay, before we go, can you share with people where they can connect with you themselves?
yes, I am on Instagram and my handle is Living Awake with Maren. You can direct message me there, or you can also email me at livingawakewithmaren@gmail.com. And I'd be
Fan-
happy to answer any questions. So,
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We'll link to that in the show notes. Thank you for being with me. And for those of you
thanks,
who are
Heather.
listening or watching today, we hope you join us again next time. Have a great day. Hey, we just wanted to thank you for spending part of your day here with us at Latter-day Life Coaches and being part of this conversation. Share this with your friends so that you can have a conversation with them on this topic as well. And as always, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Have a good one, my friends.